Yeah.
We just confirmed.
Yeah.
You still up
I'm
there?
still
They come
there.
to see us, and we don't know anything.
She's
We're just around.
Yeah.
See our historical source.
Yeah, still dragging with the light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean, wide with home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Do not let your hearts be troubled. Trust in God. Trust also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms. If it were not so, I would have told you. I am going there to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may know where I am.
Amen.
Amen.
Let's say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and the glory forever. Amen. Our speaker of the hour, this gentleman has really been a blessing to this cemetery. He is a true historian. He knows the history of Williamson County, and he definitely knows the history of the surrounding area and of this cemetery. So I'm very proud to introduce to you all Mr. Ralph Dixon, who will give us a little history of the community and the cemetery.
Well, I have to pardon my hobbling around like a one-legged dog. I'm trying. I appreciate getting to be here today. It's a delight because I said it's like all of your families that are and I'm sure the majority of you descend 3 or 4 generations out of some of the families that all of our families were here at the time of the Civil War. And this was the most prominent cemetery in this part of Williamson County at that time. And there's many families whom you're to whom you're a descendant of, as well as with mine. Our family's been here so long, but nobody doesn't know but what we were born and hatched right here in this spot. But anyhow, it's something we're grateful for, and it's a delight. I feel very much at home because like your families, we're like 3 or 4 generations of families that all of you descend from. And I'm the same way. And we've all got relatives that are buried here. The older part, this is considered, now I'm speaking out of my granddad's love. He lived to be 100 years old. But I've been down here, ridden horseback with him down here on Old Nina many times, and we walked the cemetery because he knew everyone is buried here just about, or for the family from which they had come. But the old part of the cemetery is through the upper part up here, and most of it is out in that field where those houses are being built. And there are graves out there. Judge Ed Hickman, who was one of the Supreme Court judges for Williamson County from Liberty Hill, he was born and raised here. His grandparents and his parents are buried out in that field. And our family, my sister Sue and I, we got a multitude of cousins, but none of them live here, and so many of them have passed on now, the old family. But we have uncles and aunts and cousins that are buried out in that field also. But that's where the original cemetery was. And at that time they call it the Old Land Cemetery. Long ago. But in more recent years, it's been identified as it's always, in my lifetime, it's Rocky Hollow. This is Rocky Hollow Cemetery in my mind. If I hear it, it perks my ears up because I know where they're talking about. But anyhow, I'll let you hold that. Hey, and then would you hold me and that brother that lived here? Because, all of this community is always a part of one another. They were totally dependent on one another from Civil War time. And I don't have to tell y'all all of this. You know it. It's a gospel truth. But anyhow, this is a kind of a synopsis or a summary of things that I try to recall from what my grandfather and all the aunts and uncles and cousins and so many of the black families. I've listened to them because I was always fascinated. Our history is more important than any other history in the world, as far as I'm concerned, because it's us. And that means each of us that are here today. But anyhow, I'll go through this spiel. This is basic notes that I did last night, trying to do a synopsis to give you an idea. But this is just information that I have tried to remember up. If I had any brain, that's just what I'd like to maintain. Rocky Hollow Community Cemetery was or had been settled by many families out of the many southern states. The majority of the Anglo families brought their families and the families of the Negro slaves here to settle this central Texas country for farming and cattle production in this area of unbroken and uncultivated acres. And as you see, we didn't have the best soil here, but they'd called it home and must have liked it because they've been here. We've all been here over 100 years. My granddad Hutch Love, who was born here in our community on Bears Creek in 1874, as we identified as Rocky Hollow, Little Arkansas, Andis, Stump Toe. These are names which all this country has gone by. I'll start over with that. The names has been known as Rocky Hollow, which I think of it today. Little Arkansas, Andis, Stump Toe, and it was Stump Toe, they said, to have to plow in the field and then get out and chop cotton and such and stumble your toes over the rocks. Stump Toe, White House, Loafer's Glory, the Shinnery, Keener's Corner, Wesley Chapel, Oak Grove, Fisher's Corner, Bears Creek Crossing, Limp Rag, Wheeler's Crossing, and Matchler Crossing. By about 1855, there were 757 slaves who resided here in this area of Williamson County when the outbreak of the Civil War came about. Then there were over 1,000 slaves that lived here by 1861 and 1863, and that meant from all this parameters of Williamson County into Burnett and to Bell County. Mr. Gus August Fisher, a native farmer slave, came from Arkansas. This family settled right here where we are standing today. And the family settled here in the Andis, Florence area. These children included Mr. Sam Fisher, Mr. Robert Uncle Doll, Mary, Miss Josie, Eliza, and A.B. These were the children of Mr. Sam. This only relates to this one pioneer family, but they attest to the honor each and every person and family we have some here today to remember and respect. Thanks.
Okay, I got you.
Okay. Oh, now I'm together, got both legs on the floor.
Okay. There's a slight change in the unveiling of the marker, and I thought it would be fitting to have some of the late Mr. Fisher's family to do the unveiling, but unfortunately his sisters could not be here. So in his place, we're asking that if his cousin will do the unveiling, and that please give us your name. Mr. Fisher. So at this time, we'll ask if she'll come over here and do the unveiling for us.
I'm glad to work.
Okay, so now can we do the unveiling?
I'm fine, you're all right. Anytime I'm in those.
Wonderful.
The Rocky Hollow Cemetery. The cemetery was established on land owned by Thomas P. Chapman along the route of the Georgetown-Lampasas Road. Although it was mentioned in deed records as early as 1859, the earliest marked grave, that of Confederate veteran William Bacon Tucker, is dated 1865. By 1870, the cemetery was no longer utilized by Anglo pioneers, but continued to be used by former slaves who lived in the nearby Rocky Hollow community. In 1974, graves from Sedgwick Family Cemetery were moved to this site because of the creation of Lake Georgetown. Today, Rocky Hollow Cemetery continues to be maintained by descendants of the community's founders.
Do we have a picture of you two ladies standing up there?
Come around here.
Yeah,